What's up, my friend? This is Too Loud Tech. Today I wanted to talk about a device that has me a little bit more excited than any other device this year. And this year has been pretty amazing. And that is the Odin2 Mini. And as you can see here on the screen, it has been codenamed by the community the Sexy Vita for obvious reasons. It is absolutely gorgeous. This is a in the hand view of an early production unit. It was shared in the AN Discord. It is very nice looking. I like this white unit a lot. It is calling my name. Here we have a view of the rear. As you can see, they masked off some of theirs. It has a little AN branding on the rear. These are not my nails. I just want to make that clear. They have shared a discount code. The way that I assume the discount code is working is that the first 200 units sold will get a $30 coupon. The next 300, a $15 coupon. And for everybody else who orders between May 5th and June 21st will get $10 off. May 21st is the first day available for pre-order at 9:30 a.m. Beijing time, and May 20th at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, which is 9:30 Eastern time and 8:30 Central time. You would want to head over to antech.com and place your pre-order if you want to get some of these discounts. The early bird gets the worm. Be mindful. So this is one of the early images of the Odin2 Mini, and in black, it is gorgeous as well. It is a smaller Odin 2, hence the Mini. And I know a lot of people who were hesitant to get an Odin 2 because of the size. They were much more wanting something around the size of an RP4. And I think this is going to hit that mark. I did want to bring it in on some of this image of the buttons here. As you can see, the buttons have a clear aesthetic over whatever color device you get. That is absolutely beautiful. I think that these buttons will be around the size of the AN Odin 2. And if I'm wrong, forgive me, but we're just examining photos of an unreleased device. The D-pad is beautiful. They're calling them crystal buttons. Moving over here to the website, I do want to go through some of the specs here and some of the imagery. As you can see here, the base model is going to retail for $339. The base model only comes in black. So if you want this white model, you will have to opt for the Pro in order to get the white. The Odin2 Mini has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 CPU, which is the same as the Odin 2. It also has a 1080p display at 5 inches with mini LEDs. I'm not sure, but I believe that this is the first device in this space to come with a mini LED display. And a mini LED display is very similar to an OLED. It gets very deep blacks, and it is not quite an OLED, but it is going to be a very nice display. The device will run Android 13 and have a 5,000 milliamp battery. If I switch over here to the Odin 2, you'll be losing out a little bit on battery because the Odin 2 has 8,000 milliamps, but the battery does last extremely long in the Odin 2. So if the Odin Mini lasts even half as long, I'm more than happy with that. It's going to have Hall sticks, so does the Odin 2. It's going to be 100 grams lighter. Here I want to get into some more of this imagery here, and what we're looking at here is again the Odin 2 Mini. Like I said, 8 Gen 2 Snapdragon. The base model is going to have 8 gigs of RAM with 128 gigabytes of internal storage. Both models will have expandable storage, meaning you could go ahead and put an SD card in and increase your storage space. The Pro model will come with 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigabytes of internal storage. Now, whether you get the 8 gigs or the 12 gigs, they are both going to perform very similar. As we've seen with the Odin 2 is capable of playing everything, emulating everything, playing everything on Android. I've been enjoying my Odin 2. I have the SNES colorway. It's absolutely beautiful, and I have a great time playing it. I've been playing Warzone a lot on it lately, and I don't feel any different than if I was playing it on a console. So the Odin 2 Mini gets 155% of the sRGB color gamut, 1100 nits of brightness, 1,000,000:1 contrast ratio, and I want to compare that to another device that recently hit the market and a lot of people are talking about. So I want you to remember this number of 155% sRGB and 1100 nits with the 1,000,000:1 contrast ratio. If you look over here, I came over to ANEO's Pocket S listing, and on their site, this is the 1080p model, because the 2K was a limited run from my understanding, and the 1080p model of the Pocket S only gets 400 nits of brightness. It's also limited to 120% of the sRGB, and of the coverage, 100%. The color temperature is 1,000,000 to 1. So in comparison, this mini LED display should look a whole lot better than the Pocket S's display. Another thing that I want to compare with the Pocket S is the fact that if you were paying attention earlier when I said that this device has a 5,000 milliamp battery, the Pocket S only has a 6,000 milliamp battery with a 6-inch display. Not much difference there, if any. Here in this imagery, they want to show the difference between 155% sRGB with a mini LED compared to a standard LCD. And as you can see, it is very saturated. The colors are popping. The difference between 1100 nits of brightness on a mini LED and a standard display is quite a bit different. And that contrast ratio definitely stands out. Look how black this is behind this floral and how gray it is over here. And again, back to weight and size. 320 grams. In comparison to the Odin 2, it is going to be quite the difference. It's going to have Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 5.3, Android 13, a 5,000 milliamp battery. It's going to have cooling. The Odin 2 cools amazingly. The Hall sticks are very good on the Odin 2, so I expect nothing less from the Odin 2 Mini. It's going to have analog triggers, and the shoulder buttons are going to be clear like the PSVita. It's going to have front firing speakers, so the sound should be right in your face. Of course, we're going to have some game streaming available with this device. And here's a little graphic of the breakdowns of the exterior of the device, the I/O here. We have a micro HDMI, we have an SD port, we have our shoulder buttons and our triggers, our volume rocker, our power button. The joysticks, of course, have L3 and R3. The face buttons this time on this device happen to be in an Xbox layout, which is okay with me. I don't care either way. Android really uses an Xbox layout. The D-pad is crystal, face buttons crystal, and the rest of the start, select, home, and back buttons are also crystal. The bottom of the device is going to have a 3.5mm headphone jack and a USB Type-C. There will be some vents on the top, some vents on the back. The back one is an inlet. The top ones are an outlet. They have some anti-slip TPU mat here, something like what Ambernic does with their devices. You're familiar with the RG35XXH or the 353M. I don't mind it. I like having that extra little grip on the back there. Here we go with another coverage of the specs of the device. Like I said, Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, Adreno 740 for the GPU, DDR5, 8 gig or 12 gig, depending on your respective selection between the base and the Pro model. We got a 60 Hertz display. I know many of us, including myself, are patiently waiting for a high refresh rate screen, but this is not it. For video output, we have HDMI and DisplayPort because the Odins do support display through USB-C. We have Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 5.3, USB 3.1 Type-C, micro HDMI, kind of reiterating this part here, our headphone jack, our SD card. It's going to have 65-watt quick charging, so it should charge pretty rapidly, which is always a plus. So with this device, like I said, I have the Odin 2, and I really enjoy it. And I think that if you're looking for something powerful, and if you've been looking at the Pocket S and watched any reviews on this device, you may want to hold off on this device a bit. It is quite expensive in comparison, and I know this one is still expensive, but you're getting a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 with mini LEDs. The Odin name holds power because it has performed. Everybody who's used it has walked away impressed with it. And I, for instance, am definitely going to be ordering the white model of this unit. I cannot wait. I love the PSVita aesthetic. I love the look of the Trim UI Smart Pro. I will be one of the first ones in line. I'm curious to know what you guys' opinion is. Leave it in the comments down below. I appreciate all of you guys. This is the Odin2 Mini by Ian, and I am Too Loud Tech, and that's it for me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.